We all dream of a love that feels safe. A love that holds us gently, that stays when the world feels heavy. But again and again, we find ourselves in stories that hurt. We promise we will never repeat them, and somehow we do. Why does the heart keep walking into the same fire? Why do kind people fall for those who can't love them back? The answer isn't in your heart. It's in your mind. Love begins in the brain. When you meet someone new, your brain lights up like a festival. Dopamine floods in, that feeling of excitement and pleasure. Oxytocin whispers trust and closeness. Serotonin brings calm. For a moment, the world feels perfect. But when that person becomes unpredictable, loving one day, distant the next, your brain reacts like it's in danger. You start craving their attention more. Each time they come back, dopamine rewards you again, and the bond grows stronger, not weaker. That's how love turns into addiction. It isn't love you chase. It's the chemical rush of being wanted, then saved, then wanted again. Your heart thinks it's passion. Your brain calls it survival. We are not as free in love as we think. Our patterns are written by the stories we never healed. Think back to when love first meant something to you. Not romance, but childhood. Love was the voice that soothed you, or the silence that scared you. Love was a smile that stayed, or a door that closed too soon. That first version of love became your blueprint. If affection was given easily, you learned that love feels safe. If it was unpredictable, you learned that love feels uncertain. If love came with fear, your nervous system began to link tension with caring. A child who had to chase attention grows into an adult who chases affection. A child who felt invisible becomes an adult who accepts neglect as normal. We don't do this because we like pain. We do it because our brains seek what they already know. Familiarity feels like safety, even when it hurts. So you meet someone who feels different, but soon they start acting in ways that mirror your past. They pull away, you chase. They return, you forgive. The pattern feels alive, powerful, real. But what you're really feeling is recognition. Your brain whispering, "This feels like home." We often mistake intensity for intimacy. The more uncertain it feels, the more we believe it must be love. Our culture even celebrates that chaos. Movies call it soulmates, songs call it crazy love. But true connection doesn't demand that you lose yourself. It doesn't need pain to feel real. The mind is clever. It turns trauma into chemistry, chemistry into habit, and habit into love stories that always end the same way. If you grew up learning that love disappears without warning, you may now fall for people who vanish and return. If you grew up needing to prove your worth, you may fall for people who make you earn their time. You're not cursed. You're repeating. The first step to breaking this loop is awareness. Notice who attracts you and why. Ask yourself, do I feel calm around this person or anxious? Do I feel like I can breathe or like I'm holding my breath? Am I trying to connect or to fix? If you often feel anxious, waiting for a message, checking for a sign, that's not love. That's survival mode. Your nervous system has mistaken danger for desire. But awareness is powerful. Once you see the pattern, you can choose differently. You can teach your brain that peace is safe. You can build new associations where calm means love, not boredom. Healing love starts quietly. It doesn't explode. It unfolds. It comes with small moments of safety. A text answered on time. A conversation where you're heard. A silence that feels comfortable instead of cold. At first, this calmness feels strange. You might even call it too easy. That's because chaos used to be your comfort. Peace feels foreign until it becomes familiar. To heal, you must let calm feel normal again. You must remind yourself that love is not supposed to hurt. Love is not supposed to test your worth. Real love won't make you chase it. It will meet you halfway. It will stay steady when your old wounds try to create storms. And that's when healing truly begins. When you stop seeking intensity and start choosing consistency. You are not broken for loving the wrong people. You were simply trying to finish a story that began long before them. Your mind was searching for closure, trying to rewrite the ending of your childhood pain. But closure doesn't come from another person. It comes from finally seeing the pattern for what it is and deciding that the story ends with you. You can be the one who stops the cycle. You can be the one who teaches your heart that peace is safe. You can be the one who no longer confuses anxiety with affection. This is not the end of love. It's the beginning of real love. Sometimes we think the pain is a sign of depth. We tell ourselves that true love must be difficult, that the more we suffer, the stronger the bond becomes. But suffering does not make love stronger. It only makes it harder to see clearly. When your heart is tired, confusion begins to look like passion. When someone hurts you and then comforts you, your brain releases both stress and relief at the same time. That combination is powerful. It teaches your body that love is drama. The highs and lows of that emotional roller coaster can feel more real than peace ever did. You start to believe that calm means something is missing. But calm is not emptiness. Calm is safety. Let's look deeper at what happens inside your brain. When someone rejects you, the same area that registers physical pain lights up. Heartbreak literally hurts because your mind treats emotional loss as physical injury. That's why rejection can make your chest ache or your stomach twist. Then, when that person returns, your brain releases dopamine again, a reward signal. You don't only crave them, you crave the relief of the pain ending. It becomes a loop: hurt, relief, hurt, relief. That loop can trap you for years. Every time you forgive too fast, you teach your brain that chaos is part of connection. And slowly, you forget what love without fear feels like. Think of the times you've waited for a text that never came. The hours of silence turned into self-doubt. You blamed yourself. Did I say something wrong? You promised you wouldn't care. Yet your heart beat faster each time your phone lit up. That's not weakness. That's your nervous system chasing closure. The mind cannot rest when a story is incomplete, so it keeps you awake, keeps you replaying every word, until you get an ending, even a painful one. But here's the secret. You can give yourself closure without their apology. Closure is simply understanding why it hurts and choosing not to keep opening the same wound. Healing love means slowing down. It means pausing between attraction and action. When you meet someone new, ask yourself quietly, do I feel safe or do I feel a rush that hides my fear? Real chemistry is not fire that burns. It is warmth that lasts. It grows slowly. It doesn't need to be chased or begged for. It doesn't make you question your worth. If someone makes you anxious more than they make you happy, that is your body warning you, not about them, but about your old pattern. Listen to that signal. It's your nervous system saying, not again. Many people think healing means never feeling pain again. But healing doesn't erase pain. It changes your relationship with it. You start to see pain as information, not identity. Pain says, there's something here to learn. Pain says, you've been here before. And healing says, this time, you can walk away. Sometimes the hardest part of growth is accepting that love alone is not enough. You can love someone deeply and still be wrong for each other. You can love someone and still need to let them go for your peace. We were taught that love should conquer all, but healthy love also includes limits. Boundaries are not walls. They are doors that protect what's inside. They teach others how to treat us. When you set a boundary and someone gets angry, it reveals what they wanted from you, not who you are. If they truly cared, they would respect the limits that keep you whole. You may wonder, if I stop chasing, will love still find me? Yes, but it will look different. It won't be the chaos you're used to. It will come quietly, through patience and presence. You'll recognize it when silence feels peaceful, when you can be yourself without shrinking, when honesty feels safe, not risky. That kind of love doesn't arrive as a storm. It grows like morning light, slow, soft, certain. Here's something most people never realize. You don't fall for the wrong people because you're foolish. You fall for them because they match an emotional code written long ago. Each time you try to fix someone who can't love you, you're really trying to fix a memory of yourself. The child who wanted to be seen, to be chosen, to be enough. But you are no longer that child. You have power now. You can decide that your worth isn't up for debate. You can stop proving and start choosing. This is where real transformation begins. When you stop asking, why don't they love me? And start asking, why do I stay where I'm not loved? That question is not judgment. It's awakening. It leads you back to yourself, to the parts you abandoned while trying to be loved. Reclaim them. Reclaim the laughter you silenced to keep peace. Reclaim the confidence you buried to stay accepted. Reclaim the softness you hid to avoid getting hurt. Every piece you take back weakens the pattern. Every time you choose peace over chaos, you teach your brain that calm is safe again. Love will always involve risk, but healthy love doesn't destroy you in the process. It doesn't make you doubt your worth, your memory, or your truth. It builds you, it steadies you, it helps you grow. You deserve that kind of love. You always did. The wrong people taught you lessons. The right one will teach you peace. When you begin to heal, the world starts to look different. People you once chased no longer shine the same way. Their words feel lighter, their charm thinner. It isn't that they changed. You did. Healing changes your eyes. It teaches you to notice red flags instead of excuses. You start to feel the difference between attention and respect, between promises and consistency. At first, this new awareness can feel lonely. You miss the highs, the rush, the drama that used to keep you alive. You wonder if you will ever feel passion again. But passion built on peace is possible. It just burns steadier and brighter. As you move forward, your mind will test you. It will tempt you with memories of the old pattern. You'll remember the laughter, not the pain. You'll miss the attention, not the confusion. That's how trauma tries to pull you back, by showing you the highlight reel, not the whole story. When those memories come, don't fight them. Acknowledge them like old ghosts. I see you, but you don't belong here anymore. Every time you resist the urge to return, you rewrite your brain's wiring. Neural pathways that once screamed danger equals love begin to quiet. New ones grow, whispering safety equals love. That's real healing, not forgetting, but retraining. Let's talk about forgiveness. Many people believe forgiveness means letting someone back in, but forgiveness is not a door, it's a release. You forgive to free your own energy, not to reopen old wounds. When you carry anger for too long, it doesn't protect you. It anchors you to the past. Each time you replay the betrayal, your body relives the stress, the sadness, the fear. Forgiveness says, I choose peace over proof. It's not saying what you did was okay. It's saying I refuse to let it live inside me anymore. Forgiveness closes the chapter so you can write new ones. While healing, you might find yourself drawn to solitude. Silence that once scared you begins to feel gentle. You start to enjoy your own company again. You realize that being alone and being lonely are not the same. Loneliness is emptiness. Solitude is space. Space to breathe, to rediscover what makes you feel alive. Space to rebuild trust in yourself. The trust that says, I can survive without their validation. That's where strength begins, not in never falling, but in learning you can stand up without anyone's hand. Eventually, someone new will appear. They will not make your heart race with anxiety. They will not confuse you. They will feel calm, kind, maybe even ordinary at first. Your old self might whisper, this is too easy, but your healed self will recognize it. This is safety. This is peace. This is love that doesn't need to hurt. When that happens, don't run from the calm. Stay. Learn the language of steady love. It may feel unfamiliar, but unfamiliar doesn't mean wrong. Love after healing is quieter. It looks like morning coffee together, honest conversations, mutual respect. It feels like freedom inside connection. You no longer need someone to fill your emptiness because you're not empty anymore. You don't need their approval to feel worthy because you already know your worth. That's the secret the pain was trying to teach you all along. It wasn't about losing them. It was about finding you. Sometimes people will ask, how do you know when you've healed? You'll know when peace stops feeling boring, when drama stops exciting you, when your boundaries stop feeling cruel, when you stop trying to explain your worth to those who cannot see it. You'll know when you can look at the one who hurt you and feel gratitude instead of rage, not because they deserved it, but because you grew from it. Healing doesn't erase your past. It transforms your relationship with it. Your pain becomes purpose. Your heartbreak becomes wisdom. As the world around you keeps moving, remember that healing is not a race. Some days you'll feel strong, other days you'll fall back into old thoughts. That's okay. Progress is not a straight line. It's a spiral. Each time you return to an old feeling, you meet it with a new level of awareness. So be patient with yourself. Healing takes time because you are rebuilding trust inside your own body. You are teaching your heart that love no longer means fear. This work is sacred. It's the quiet revolution of your life. And when you start sharing this peace with others, you become a mirror of calm for those still trapped in chaos. Your presence itself becomes healing. You no longer need to fix anyone. You simply exist differently. Your peace says, there is another way. You'll find that people are drawn to this calm energy, not because you're saving them, but because you remind them of what peace feels like. That's the power of healing. It spreads without words. So, if you're listening now and wondering why you still think of the one who broke you, understand this. Your heart remembers, but your soul is learning. Every tear was teaching you boundaries. Every goodbye was guiding you home. You are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be, because the journey of healing love isn't about who stays or leaves. It's about who you become in the process. You become softer, wiser, freer, and that version of you will never again settle for half love. There comes a moment in every healing journey when you finally stop asking, "Why did they do this to me?" and begin asking, "What did this teach me about me?" That shift is where freedom begins. You start to see that every heartbreak was a mirror, not a punishment. Each wrong person revealed a wound that was waiting to be healed. They were chapters, not conclusions. For years you may have thought they broke you, but really they exposed the cracks where light could enter. When you look back now, you can trace the pattern like a map. Every time you ignored your intuition, every time you mistook intensity for love, every time you believed that being chosen meant being enough. But now you know better. Being chosen means nothing if you have to shrink to fit inside someone's limits. Love is not proven by pain. It is proven by presence. You realize that peace doesn't ask for explanations. It doesn't keep score. It doesn't demand that you bleed to feel alive. Healing teaches you a new rhythm. You start to move slower, to breathe before reacting, to listen to your inner voice before anyone else's. You start to protect your energy like it's sacred, because it is. You stop explaining your worth to those who can't see it. You stop trying to convince people to love you the way you love them. Instead, you learn to give that love back to yourself. You become your own safe place. You may still feel traces of the old ache. Some nights, a memory might knock on your door. But now you know you can open it, smile, and let it pass. You no longer have to invite it in. That's how healing works. You stop living inside the story of pain and start writing from the other side of it. The wrong people no longer define you. They refine you. Let's talk about what happens after healing. Because love doesn't end here. It changes form. When you meet someone new now, you see them clearly. You listen more to what they show than to what they promise. You choose presence over potential. You don't chase. You observe. You don't beg. You communicate. You don't lose yourself trying to be loved. You share yourself because you already are love. That's the difference between needing and choosing. Need comes from fear. Choice comes from wholeness. The people you attract from this place will meet you differently. They will not run when you set boundaries. They will not confuse honesty with conflict. They will bring calm, not chaos. And you will realize that peace can be passionate too, just without the pain. True intimacy is built through safety. It's built when two people can sit in silence and still feel connected. It's built when love becomes a space to rest, not a battle to win. You might still meet others who remind you of your past. They may even tempt you to return to old habits. But healing gives you choice. You can thank the lesson and walk away. You can choose people who add peace to your life instead of drama. That's not coldness. That's clarity. Every time you say no to chaos, you say yes to yourself. Every time you honor your boundary, you strengthen your peace. You will begin to notice beauty in smaller things again. The sound of rain, the smell of morning coffee, the way light falls through a window. Because when the noise in your heart quiets, you can finally hear life again. Love will start to feel simple. Not perfect, not without challenge, but simple. Two people growing side by side, not losing themselves inside each other. That simplicity is not boring. It's peace disguised as ordinary life. And now, when someone asks you, "Why did you fall for the wrong people?" you can smile softly and say, "Because I needed to learn how to love myself first." Without those wrong turns, you might never have found this version of you, the one who understands what real love feels like, the one who no longer mistakes anxiety for chemistry, the one who finally knows that peace is not the absence of love, it's the proof of it. Take a deep breath. This is where the story changes. You no longer seek people to complete you. You seek people to grow with you. You no longer chase closure from others. You create closure within. You no longer ask, "Will they stay?" You ask, "Do I feel safe here?" And if the answer is no, you leave, not out of anger, but out of love for yourself. That is maturity. That is healing. That is freedom. Remember this truth. You will love again. Not like before, but better. Not through fear, but through peace. Not because you need it, but because you choose it. And this time, you will recognize love not by how fast your heart beats, but by how calm it feels. Because the right love doesn't take your breath away. It helps you breathe easier. So, as you step forward from this moment, carry this understanding with you. You are not too much. You are not hard to love. You are not broken.